Yeah, alright, let's do this one. Am I the asshole for how I responded to my sister's HIV diagnosis? It's gonna be a fun one, chat. I can tell already. The long and very short of it, my sister recently got diagnosed with HIV. As far as I'm aware, this is from a hookup that she no longer has access to, and was from a consensual encounter. She came to me on Sunday, cried about the results, and while I responded with sympathy, my reaction wasn't severe. I asked if she still had valid insurance. She said yes, so I said she'd be fine, and that was the worst of it. And that was the worst of it over then. Rough, dude. Absolutely rough. She called me heartless and said I had no idea how ruined her life was. I kind of shrugged at her and said she just needed to adhere to treatment and she'd be fine. Again, this set her off and she called me an evil bitch because I didn't see how awful her life was about to be. And I admit, I may have been crass and I don't see how a mildly steep copay is going to kill you. I don't think it's the mildly steep copay you have to worry about when you have HIV. I think the copay is far down on the list of worries when your immune system is compromised. She was very angry with me and left me to sit on the interaction. My mom and dad are upset that I wasn't as sympathetic with her because she truly does feel as though her life is over, and at the end of the day it's still a big deal. Am I the asshole for how I responded? Okay. Before we get into that's the post. The rest of it is edits, and we'll get to that. Holy shit, dude, are you the asshole? Of course you are. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Hey, I just learned that I have HIV. That I'm really scared about it. It could potentially develop and become much worse. Yeah, but it's like, hold on. He definitely could have been more gentle, but an HIV diagnosis isn't a death sentence anymore. Yeah, but it's still fucking scary. Like, it's still super fucking scary. And it's like something that you know you're going to have for the rest of your life. Also, never mind, we could talk about all the stigma about it and like what treatment means and the having to pay for treatment forever and being on pills forever. You're right. What did I walk in on? Hey, Metalia, we're talking about HIV. Woo! Fairy, also, you could have given her a hug and reassured her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it would have been appropriate for him to, like, guffaw and be like, my God, you're gonna die. Super scary, but I think I would appreciate someone reminding me it'll be okay, you know. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. I think I feel like there's a line between reminding someone that it's gonna be okay and being dismissive of their fears. And this kind of feels like it teeters more on the dismissive side. Not even, by the way, like, she responded to it. By the way he kind of recounts it. Like, by his recount of events, like, he seems super dismissive of the fact that she's very upset. And, like, I understand that HIV is no longer a death sentence. And I understand, like, that you want someone to reassure you that, like, especially when you get that news and you're like, what's going through your head is 100% just panic-based. But that's not what he talks about. She talks about how, like, scared she is and how her life is going to change. And he's like, I don't really see how a steep copay is going to kill you. Like, he got to write this story, and he still made himself kind of sound like a dickhead about it. He starts this by saying, I responded with sympathy, and then not at any point in the entire conversation alludes to how he was actually sympathetic to her, like, situation or her anxiety. About what is still a pretty big deal. Like, you still don't want to get diagnosed with HIV. Also, we'll read the first part of the edit, because I think this is also something I want to bring up. I don't blame my sister at all for her diagnosis. No one should expect to get a disease from a single encounter. I don't think it's earned or justified by any means. Then why was the first thing that you brought up that she caught HIV from a hookup that was a consensual, casual encounter? Why was that the first thing you said? And we don't have to get too deep on that. We don't have to, like, dissect that. It is a little weird. I read that as he skipped past telling us the sympathetic things to tell us what he kind of said that pissed her off. We go by the text in this courtroom. We take the truth as it is presented and no further. We do not assume, because when you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. Yeah, he does say that. He does say that he was sympathetic, and then goes into specifics of things he said that were not sympathetic. I don't know. I need more info on that part. I would guess I need, like, more info of how that conversation goes. Because you can't just be like... You can't be like, I was super sympathetic. Anyway, here's all the dismissive shit I said about her. So for that part, that's info for me. We can continue with the edit. I love my sister. She's my only sibling, and I helped raise her. And while the situation isn't perfect or ideal, I still very much... What? While this situation isn't perfect or ideal, I still love her very much. I'd hope so. What do you mean? I guess it's not great she got HIV, but I guess I still love her very much. My response was based in logic. My response was based in logic. Reddit comment out of 10. It didn't come from a place of hatred or resentment. I just thought logic would help. I definitely don't think that his comments came from a place of hatred or resentment, right? I wouldn't have gotten that from the text. I don't think it was hate or resentment. I think it just feels a little dismissive. Please stop asking if I'm autistic. That's not really relevant. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with him there. 200 comments, and 2 hours later, I already see where things are going. Man. That's the I am not gonna be civil about being called the asshole death rattle. I love my sister to death. I'd do anything for her, and she needed me to be her rock, and I was literally too solid and literal with her. I was a little too solid and literal with her. I called her and explained my side and linked the post. Man. You're gonna feel dumb in a couple lines. Okay. I'm taking the information as it comes. I called her and explained my side and even linked the post to her. We cried over FaceTime and I told her I was so very sorry for making her feel like she didn't have any support. Good! Excellent! I'll be accompanying her to her follow-up next week. She needs to know that she's loved and cared for right now, so that's what I'll do for her. Why would I feel dumb about that? That's great news. That the man has seen reason. And for the strange amount of you who are asking if I'm on the spectrum or assumed it, and to the one person who sent me a test, yes, I am. Good job, Reddit. You fucking got him. I, like, tangentially see why Reddit, like, why you'd think that's related, but I don't think it matters. Like, what difference does it make, Reddit? No, I think that's great. I think that the fact that he looked back on it and took the blows and was like, oh, maybe I was being, like, an asshole by being, like, dismissive, by using the power of logic and reason to be like, you shouldn't be scared of your medical diagnosis. That makes me change my mind about the outcome of this post. I think prior to the edit, yeah, absolutely, easily the asshole. I think post-edit, I think I changed my mind. I think it goes to no assholes here. No, I understand that. I understand why Reddit thought that it mattered. I just don't think it matters in the context of the am I the asshole post. More specifically, I don't think it matters to how I would judge the post. Whether or not that he's the asshole or not. But yeah, I think this is pretty solid. No assholes here. Even though HIV is thankfully much better controlled with antiretrovirals, it is still a lifelong stigmatizing condition with a huge amount of social difficulties attached to having it. She's now going to have a hell of a lot of trouble getting a partner, with conceiving naturally, even though with correct treatment the risk should be minimal, with breastfeeding her kids, if she ever has them, not to mention the treatment itself can sometimes have side effects. It's hardly something to be so flippant about. You're the asshole. I think flippant is a better word than dismissive. Let's see. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. You sound like you resent your sister for hooking up. Probably even think she deserved it. Your lack of sympathy is scary. Anyway, I wouldn't go that far. I never would have gone that far. If he was dismissive because he doesn't care, it's different than being dismissive because his autism makes him look at it logically. First one, be an asshole. Second, isn't. I guess I do talk a lot about how being the asshole does have a lot to do with intent. I think that's fair. I think that's fair when you put it like that. This is insane. I, like, do agree that, like, the first sentence being about how she got HIV is, like, weird. It sets a weird tone. I didn't get this from the post. This is a lot. That's Reddit fan fiction. Snoo Jokes agrees with me. I think your analysis is a stretch. Where did OP ever say his sister deserved to contract this virus? And where were there any showings of any types of jealousy? You should probably find somebody else to hate on because that's all that happened here. Based Redditor? Let's go. Based Snoo Jokes? You're the asshole. Do you know the definition of sympathy? I responded with sympathy. Sympathy is a feeling of sincere concern for someone who is... That's the definition of sympathy. We don't need that. Yes, antiviral therapies have come a long way, but they aren't perfect and don't work for everyone. Besides, the concern isn't purely medical. This will impact your sister's life. There's still stigma out there. She will need to disclose this to every person she dates in the future. It will impact her finances, could impact her career choices. It certainly will impact her if she ever wants to have a baby. She also most likely contracted this having sex with someone, so that's traumatic. And the odds are this will someday, sooner or later, contribute to her death. All of that's true. That is true. I didn't have it on screen, but it is still true. Yep. So no assholes here. I'm still going with no assholes here. I think the full assessment of that situation, there's no other, like... I don't need any more info. There's nothing else that I could really... conclusion I could draw, rather. Let's do one more. Ooh. Okay. This one's gonna be a doozy. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend I found it weird that he kissed the coffin at his friend's funeral service? I feel like I should lend you my gavel. Oh my god, I forgot you have a gavel. Yes! Give me that shit. I'm gonna go bang bang. Oh boy, okay. I, 23F, have been in a great relationship with my boyfriend, Paul, 23M, for around 2 years now. Recently, we attended the funeral service of one of his best friends since high school, and during the service, Paul kissed the coffin. Not many people seemed to notice, and I thought it was a nice gesture, but I was kind of weirded out. He approached me and looked at me saying, "What's the face about?" And I whispered, "Oh, nothing. I just think it was kind of awkward, unusual." Paul just gave me a smile and kept walking with teary eyes. I know funerals are highly emotional events, so I didn't mention anything else after that, and I didn't mean to directly judge his behavior. I mean, you did directly judge his behavior. He did go, "Hey, why are you making a face?" And you were like, "Well, your grieving is awkward and weird and gross, if I'm honest. The way you grieve your friend who died, disgusting." You need a heckin' judge outfit, too, with one of those English wigs? Yeah. Oh gosh, this sounds like one of those girls with unreasonable... The way you grieved over your dead friend kind of gave me the ick, honestly. Lady Boner gone. Lady Boner gone. The next day, during a casual conversation with a couple of our group friends, that's a weird way to put that, I mentioned to one particular friend that I thought Paul kissing the coffin was kind of weird, but sweet in retrospective, not really thinking much about it. Just as a recounting of the previous day, one of our mutual friends overheard us and said, "I don't think that's weird. It was our last time saying goodbye, right?" And she thought that it was a touching moment. At that point, everyone joined the conversation, and one of the other friends was like, "Oh, buddy," and gave my boyfriend a big hug. I added, "Yeah, I said it was sweet, but not something you see every day, isn't it?" And everyone got all quiet. Lady, read the room. Read the room, please. My boyfriend seemed a little uncomfortable. I wonder why. He said, "Please, let's change the subject." We did, but after that, he kind of zoned out and left earlier than we had planned for that day. This was almost 2 weeks ago, and we're still talking like usual, but I don't want to keep bothering our friends over this, and I'd rather not bother Paul, since he's still grieving. Then let it go! What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I just need someone to talk to. Don't you think it was a little gay? Don't you think it was a little awkward and fruity that he kissed that coffin that his best friend was in? I don't know, it just kind of gave me the ick. My sister thinks I was wrong to express my thoughts at that moment, and that kissing a closed casket or coffin is not really that unusual. I should leave it alone. Fellas, is kissing the homie's coffin gay? Is it a little fruity to French your final goodbye to your homie? Fellas, is it a little queer to send your friend into that quiet goodnight with a little kissy poo? It's the same as kissing the homies. It's gay. Oh my god. I know that writing a Reddit post is the opposite of leaving it alone. She's so close. She's so fucking close to self-awareness. It's not even funny. I want to talk to... I should just let it go. But I want to talk to my friends about it, but nobody wants to talk to me about it. And I want to talk to my boyfriend about it, but he's a little fairy and won't talk to me about it. And so, you know I should leave it alone, but instead of making a Reddit post... Some of our mutual friends told me I was being very obnoxious that day with Paul by bringing up the subject. So I guess I need to know from more perspectives if I'm indeed an asshole for mentioning what I was thinking. Okay. So she went to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was like, wow, you're kind of being a dick about this. She went to her friends. All of her friends, every single one was like, wow, you're kind of being a really big dick about this. She went to her sister. Her sister was like, wow, you're kind of being a dick about this, dude. And she goes, I don't know. I should ask Reddit, because I really need, like, another person's perspective about this. Everyone's saying I'm being obnoxious, so I came to the internet so more people could tell me I'm obnoxious. Yeah, honestly, what'd you expect? Oh, man. Oh, man. You know the comments are gonna be bad when she puts the... I knew his friend, too. And he was a great guy, an amazing person all around. Just so you know, I'm also grieving in a way. Reddit, you're gonna flame me for calling my boyfriend gay for being upset that his friend is dead? I'll have you know I'm literally neurodivergent and a minor, dude. I'm literally baby. You're literally you're literally flaming baby, dude. She should have kissed the coffin too. Well, that wouldn't have been gay. So it would have been fine, I guess. I don't actually know if that's her problem with it. I don't really understand what her issue is. Maybe it's just a French thing. I don't know. I make the joke because it's the most, like, obvious thing to jump to be like, oh, it's two dudes, so she thinks it's, like, gay. But I don't actually understand what her issue is. She doesn't actually say what her issue is, other than, I don't know, it's just a little weird, a little freaky, a little awkward. Somehow I'm the only one that's upset about it, but it's socially a faux pas. Alright, I'm kind of excited to get into the comments. I'll be real with you. Yeah, you're the asshole. What the hell? Wow, that grief of yours is kind of awkward and real, huh? Hey, everybody! Isn't this dude's grief weird? Kind of sweet, but, like, weird, right? Check out this guy's weird grief! Hope someone can come kiss my coffin, because this comment killed me. That is a really good comment. One updoot for you, monsieur. I've been to funerals where you're not allowed to touch the coffin. Maybe that's what she's used to. I guess. I've never been to a funeral where you can't touch the coffin. I've certainly seen people kiss closed coffins, or, like, put their hands on the body. I've seen people kiss dead bodies before. Like, it's just not, like, something anyone cares about. Unless you're right, unless it's, like, a like, cultural or, like, religious thing, where, like, she's only been to funerals where you're, like, not allowed to touch the coffin at all. Otherwise, I don't understand it. Maybe touching the coffin is banned in Germany. In Germany, we would not kiss the coffin. The police would come and they would tell you not to kiss the coffin. They would tell you to leave. That was a terrible German accent. I completely lost it, like, immediately. I got it in, like, the first syllable, and then it was gone. So that's my accent of the day. I don't know where it went to, but that was it. So long as they're not harming themselves or others, you do not judge how people grieve. Yes, thank you. I flipped off a dear friend's casket because we flipped each other off every time we saw the other. And every time we parted ways. I do not care what anyone thought. It wasn't for them, it was for us. You are not the grief police. You do not get to dictate or judge how anyone grieves. You're the asshole. Yeah. That was like the racist corner store accent from a bad cartoon. Man, I didn't even realize I lost it that much. That's way out of left field. Fuck. You're the asshole. His friend died and you spent 2 weeks judging a sweet... Yeah! You know what? I didn't even put that together right away. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 fucking weeks. And this lady is still like, why won't anyone talk to me about how fucked up it was that my boyfriend's grieving? Why won't anyone talk to me about how weird my boyfriend is for being sad and kissing homies? I just want someone to tell me it was weird that my boyfriend kissed his homie. 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks of everyone in her life, literally everyone in her life going, no, you're insane, actually. And she's like, I don't think so. I think he's kind of a freak. You're the asshole. People like you are why men don't show emotion. It's super weird you keep bringing it up. I mean, I'm not going to put all that on her. But it is super weird she keeps bringing it up. No, you're not. You're trying to co-opt someone else's grief to look like less of a bad person. You're making it all about you. You know what? That's an interesting thought. I do think that, like, she brought it up at the funeral, and her boyfriend was like, what the fuck, dude? And now she's just been trying to justify it ever since. This isn't about the homie kiss anymore. This stopped being about the homie kiss 2 weeks ago. This is just her going, listen, I just want you to tell me I wasn't a dickhead at the funeral, okay? Oh my god, it's really like a I think you should leave post, or, skit. This has just become a I think you should leave skit. Honestly, she has gall because to sit in front of a bunch of friends who were super supportive of it and being like, yeah, but it's still weird, right? To everyone is wild. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's just looking for one person to sign off on her bullshit and then she's fine. She just needs one of her friends to go, I don't think you're a lunatic. And she'd be right as rain.